explain how the front page of your website works. So I'm already logged into the site. I'm on the dashboard. I'm going to go up to where it says Bethany Lutheran. I'm going to go down to Visit Site. And that will bring me to your site, but it still shows you that you're in editing mode. All of these little boxes or graphics are called widgets. Each widget has a different type. These are called highlights. This is called a slider, and I forget, this is everything that's down below it. And I mentioned in one of the videos about having the interest of having upcoming events instead of just having the words, to have the little icons. It just adds a little bit of interest. One note about the Lutheran Sentinel: when Paul Frees sends out that link, you don't need to do anything. I will come onto your site and I will update it. It's a little bit different than a normal updating of something, so I don't mind coming into the ELS sites that work with Web City Services and update that. I also will go through your plugins and any other anything that I see that needs fixing or looked at. I will do it at that time, and that is something that is my gift to the Synod churches. So there's no charge for that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back up to Bethany here, and I'm going to go down again to the dashboard, which is our main landing spot. I'm going to go to Appearance, and then I'm going to go over to the right, and I'm going to come down to Widgets. Now these are all the widgets right here in this column that we are currently using. The top part of the web page that had the sliders look like so. One thing to keep in mind, now this one says Welcome to Bethany. It doesn't show it on here, but that comes across here, and the Welcome Home is underneath it smaller. If you notice on the VBS slide, I didn't put anything up here because when I did, it blocked part of this advertisement. So sometimes you don't really need to have a title. You don't have to have one. You don't have to have more information. You don't have to have a link. These are just different things that you can do. So this was an image that I created and put on here. One important note is the size of the image. If you grab an image off the internet that you want to use, we'll just use this one. Well, that was one that I created. Let's look at this one here. So this picture of a lake with the wording on it, this picture is 960 by 480. If it was, we'll say 1600 by 400, then part of your image, now obviously in this picture it really wouldn't make a difference, but if we were using this one, it definitely needs to be the right size, or we would have cut off some of the people, or there'd be a big blank spot on the side. So that's kind of the tricky parts. If somebody knows how to use Photoshop or such to get the exact size, it's very helpful to be able to do that. If you wanted to add something, we're going to say that let's say you have a sermon series that you want to put in one of these slides. Well, I'm going to backtrack just a little bit. Once your VBS is done and you need this to be gone, the only thing you need to do is hit the delete button, and then it will be gone. The graphic will still be in your media file, but the actual slide will be gone off of here. And so then you'll just have the other ones on here. But now we'll talk about adding a slide. When you add a slide, you come over to the left-hand side and you come over to CT slide. It can only go in the slider. If you put here, it'll just tell you that it won't go there. It has to go, we're telling it where to go, even though it only can go in one spot. We'll say, for instance, that you're going to do a new sermon series. And you actually could put the name of the sermon series there. We'll just say Long Gospel. We'll add that right there. And if we had an image, now I don't have an image for Long Gospel, but I'm going to pick one that I know is the right size. We know this one is the right size, so I'm just going to pick that for right now. And then when I'm done, I'm going to hit save, and I'm going to hit done. What I always do when I'm done is I go back over here and I visit the site. I want to see what it looks like. I want to make sure that my wording is not covering up something important. That was the last one we put on there, and as you can see, this one actually worked out perfect even with but the other thing that I like to do, I like to shrink my screen, because then you see if somebody has a smaller screen, it would have covered those words. So there's a little bit of a finesse that you need to do to make things appear the right way. But I'm going to go back to where we were, and I'm going to delete that slide because there really is no sermon series. Delete. Okay, and that's the right one there. Okay, and if you needed to change something on the right hand side, again, I don't have any titles on these because we already had the titles in the image. If I would put something here, it would go right across the word services here. The same thing on this one. And if you don't want wording on there and you just want the wording in the title, you're welcome to do so as well. Everything that's on the bottom, the Meet the Pastor is on here. There is a link on here to go to a website, a page within your website, upcoming events. This one is set up that we just want the upcoming events to show. We limit it to 5. We want the image and the date to show. And that's on there. All your sermons will be listed. The last 5 will show. You can up that number. You can decrease that number. Here's the Lutheran Sentinel site. And this is what I said about the coding being a little bit difficult to manage. And then the Facebook link. And on here, it won't look like the Facebook link because it's all in code as well. And that's all we have on your page. I don't believe we have anything on the page sidebars. So that's the widgets and how to access them and possibly update them.